Hello and welcome back to TwoSun Tuesday yet again. This week I'm taking a look at a NightMorning design. This is the TS311. As far as I know, this thing doesn't have a name, but I've been, at least in my mind, referring to this as the Opulent for quite a while, because this thing is excessive in a lot of ways. And yeah, it does make me smile quite a bit here. I guess the first thing that I'll talk about here is the nice amount of jimping on this crowned backspacer going on here. The blade is kind of up here, but for the most part, I wouldn't really consider this a snaggletooth. For me, it's not all that dangerous unless I'm really trying to dig my finger in there. And it doesn't have a flipper deployment going on here either. Pocket clip on this, quite interesting. It's got more 3D milled than a lot of them do. Fairly large ramp coming up to the clip there, so you're definitely going to be aware that you are wearing this thing, but it's also pretty heavy too. And yeah, we got some thumbstuds to flap this guy open, and yeah, we can see we got a nice stone-washed blade here. In this case, 14C28N. Looks like yet again I have just a little bit of rolling down there by the heel that I need to fix. Yeah, I've done some cutting on this, so I should probably touch the edge up, see if some stropping won't bring it back. But yeah, we'll see. So, yes, titanium frame lock. We got carbon fiber onlays. Well, they're inlays, as you can see. They do dip in there, but they do stick up quite a bit proud to give you a little bit more contoured grip. And this thing has quite the wide grip on it. At its thickest point on the handles, it's 0.63 of an inch, so quite thick. The thumb studs on this guy, they work quite well, but I still would kind of prefer having some sort of knurling or some sort of grip on there to help out with that. As you can see, you can accidentally slip off there, but it's kind of few and far between unless your hands are already kind of slippery from work. But yeah, it's super easy to be able to do the reverse flick with that. This blade is fairly heavy here. It is only 3.7 millimeters, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of it. We got basically 3.8 inches from the handle here out to the tip. Quite large. Yeah, the action on this thing, because of how much blade you got, is pretty impressive. It's absolutely drop shutty. Once you, yep, we got basically right here is where the detent ends up mating up with the detent track going on there. So that happens nice and early. So by the time you basically are ready for it, yeah, it's closing for you. This thing has a pretty good grind behind the edge. Not quite as thin as this 337 that I looked at last week here. But still, very, very good cutting geometry. And you have a whole lot of it. For me, having a whole lot of belly, as this is pretty close to all belly on this guy here, I do appreciate that for doing a lot of cutting tasks. It really concentrates your force into the area that's actually making contact with it. It's probably why I end up liking the TS162 so much. Doing a cut test on this because this is quite new to me. It's the one in S90V, not the micarta one in 12C27. But yes, this thing is just basically large and extravagant, and in all the ways. We can see we have a fairly deep plunge grind going on here. Not 90 degrees, but maybe a little bit more like 45 or something like that. Enough that you can see the stone washing doesn't quite hit the crease there. That doesn't bother me at all, but I suppose it might bother somebody who's really looking out there for the aesthetics there. And we do have this swedge up top here, which, I mean, in general, I don't think it's necessary for it to be there. Like, it's perfectly fine for it to be there. And I suppose it does really give you a nice ramp up there if you really want to get your thumb way out there for doing some nice forceful cuts there, and you don't want to end up using a hammer grip or something like that. But I wouldn't mind at all if that was completely gone, because the blade is all the way there regardless. But yeah, as you just saw, this thing, it'll drop on you if you're not super crazy and ready for it, just because it is, you know, that drop shut. It's great when you're expecting it. Maybe not if that's not exactly what you particularly wanted. But hey, that happens with you when you got the full drop shut sort of stuff going on there. Yeah, let's go ahead and do some blade size comparisons. Let's see, probably some of the most relevant here would be the Spyderco Endura and the Ontario Rat #1. And yeah, they're fairly similar there. All right, we got the Spyderco PM2, definitely smaller. And yes, definitely the Benchmade 940 as well. I do actually have, if I haven't already put this live by the time this comes out, I do have a Benchmade bug out that I will probably be incorporating here on these size comparisons, because, well, it's the knife that is kind of has been the darling of the knife community for several years. And, well, Blade HQ just had an anniversary, and it was quite affordable for their specific variant of it, so I picked one up. But, yeah. The ergonomics on this thing are pretty darn good. I don't really find this hump here bothers me with my fingers. But if I do want to grip it further back, so I just use this nice whole sweeping area just for my index finger, that works out great as well. And because we have that swoop up here, that works out pretty darn good as well. But yeah, you can choke up because the blade is nice and flush along with the handle there. So you can choke up for more of that hammer grip, or like I was talking about, use that extended kind of hump, not necessarily a harpoon, but hump nonetheless there for doing that nice forceful cutting. And yeah, this thing can definitely take it between the tough steel of 14C28N, which hey, it might not be the edge Holton retention champion, but as far as some stainless steels, the toughness on them is pretty hard to beat. So yeah, you can definitely do some probably irresponsible things with this knife, and it'll just laugh at you and then continue to work. So that's great. Yeah, really do like this thing. It's quite large and over the top without just being stupid big just for it to be stupid big. But yeah, so covered all of the measurements there. Yep, just checking over my notes. Okay, cool. So yeah, this one's probably going to be a little bit shorter just for the standard review for this thing going on here. Like I did say earlier, I would kind of like just a little bit of texturing on the thumb studs, just to make it a little bit more of a positive grip experience there, but they still worked super great. But all right, yeah, for those of y'all who just kind of cared about the measurements and comparisons and my opinions and stuff like that, that's where that part of the video ends. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by. For the rest of us, yeah, we're going to take a peek on the inside. Of course we are. Let's see, it doesn't look like I need to take the pocket clip off on this guy, so I will leave it be. Let's get these T8s out. And apparently the Chicago screw there. We got pivot collar going on there. There we go. Yep, on the inside we have basically flat scales going on there. That's because they've milled out quite a bit on the front for the carbon fiber inlays here. Which, hey, I can, why not? I can pull one of those out. And yeah, we got some thick carbon fiber going on in there. So yeah, it digs pretty deep. And that definitely helps with weight relieving and all that. Obviously this thing is not a feather light, but it could easily have been 6 ounces or more if they didn't do some of that stuff there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put this thing all up back together. Which means I need these Chicago screws to go back in their home. Might as well do that on camera instead of way over in the corner like I was just trying to do, because apparently I am I'm just a little bit selfish and want it all to myself. But okay, yep, we got a little D shape, but it's only a notch going on there. Pivot collars. And it was probably necessary for this thing to add that anchor point for the carbon fiber there at the top. And yeah, as you can see, the thumb studs on these guys do act as a stop pin when it is actually open. For a second there, I worried that I did something wrong, but nope, that's just how it is. So, all right, let's go ahead and put the other titanium pivot collar on there. Get that pivot screw a little smaller than usual. It's all right. Pardon the wrist cam. Yeah, these Chicago screws are not under tension while it's closed, so screws are definitely necessary to have in there on this one. I don't like to cam out, but hey, it happens sometimes. But yeah, with how heavy and large the blade is on this, yeah, that drop shut happens. Basically, whether you want it or not, because that is quite tight on the pivot there too. So, alrighty, well, that's basically what I'm covering here on the TS311. I guess TS311-CF. I haven't seen any other versions ever made, but doesn't mean that they can't do that in the future. But, alright, yep, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.